Jamal Mashburn has always mesmerized me with his scoring ability. Admittedly, I'm probably higher on Jamal Mashburn than most people, but I don't think he got the respect he deserved. This 90 Sports Nostalgia video is going to briefly look back at Mashburn's career and wonder, was Jamal Mashburn a great player? Mashburn began his career with the Dallas Mavericks, and he was able to get a solid amount of shot attempts. The former Kentucky Wildcat looked like a matchup nightmare, especially during his second season in Dallas. Mashburn was unique, yet bulky, 6'8" forward who could shoot from the outside, drive to the basket with fluidity, and easily take smaller defenders down low with his strength and footwork. But what really struck me was Mashburn's evolving post-up game. Now I know this might sound ridiculous, but I swear, Mashburn was the best at turning to his left while in the post and creating space and separation. I marveled how he instinctively moved with his back to the basket. What really put the Bronx native on the map for me was his 50-point game against Scottie Pippen and the Bulls in only his 83rd NBA game. However, for Mashburn's third NBA season, he only played in 18 games due to an injury, and eventually, the Dallas Mavericks had accumulated a toxic atmosphere as the team needed to understandably get blown up. As a result, Pat Riley and the Miami Heat didn't have to give up much to acquire the talented Mashburn. The Heat were championship contenders at this time. Mashburn would not get the shot attempts as he did in Dallas, due to Miami playing at one of the slower paces in the NBA, but also, Miami had a balanced scoring attack with players like Alonzo Mourning, Tim Hardaway, and Dan Marley. Furthermore, the Heat had two players who were developing under Riley who could also be viable scorers in Vashawn Leonard and Ike Austin. But unfortunately for Mashburn, injuries would be a problem during his time with Miami. As aforementioned, the scoring averages weren't the same as in Dallas and the injuries were kind of piling up, but Mashburn had his moments and highlights that showcased his scoring ability, and I thought he was still a very talented player despite his point production dropping. Following the 1999-2000 season, Mashburn would get traded to the Charlotte Hornets. While with the Hornets franchise, this may have been where Mashburn was at his best in regards to his all-around game. His shot attempts increased, and Mashburn would also be more of a facilitator and have the ball in his hands more. Statistically, Mashburn had some impressive numbers, but once again, injuries would transpire as chronic knee issues forced Mashburn to retire. So was Jamal Mashburn a great player? To begin, I don't think anyone will say Mashburn was an incredibly impactful player on the court. Furthermore, Mashburn only made one All-NBA team, and perhaps he was not an efficient player. When the Monster Mash was the man with the Mavericks and the Hornets, his field goal percentage was perhaps lower than what you want from your top scorer who is 6'8". Additionally, the advanced statistics in regards to offensive rating really make it challenging to label Mashburn a great player. But I will say this about Jamal Mashburn, and here's my point. To me, when I was young and watched Jamal Mashburn, he showed glimpses and flashes of being such a talented scorer. There were moments when I would marvel when he had the ball in his hands. Even when I watch his highlights today, his game just gravitates to my mentality, thinking this player had some serious skills. And I think we all saw that in a player when we were young. We all saw someone that displayed a special aura at times, but is now easily forgotten, or we possibly rate that player higher than others do. Admittedly, I can sometimes get annoyed how the term great gets thrown around, but I will say, to me there were times when Jamal Mashburn displayed greatness in my eyes. And I'm interested to know a player who showed glimpses of greatness to you when you were young, when you were growing up, but isn't known for being a great player, as Mashburn will never be known as great, but he was such a very talented offensive player. Real quick, I just want to thank all those who have supported 90 Sports Nostalgia. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, and check out the links below for Patreon and merch. Thank you so much. Was Jamal Mashburn a great player?